This is Michael Tucker, and you're watching the new Legends on Deck podcast with host Brian Koss and David Conde.
Don't give him anything good to hit.
He did, and that one is driven to right, and it is deep, and it is gone! Tanner Allen, a three-run home run. Mississippi State, 5 runs in the inning, and now lead it 5-4.
Circle guy. This is a circle guy. Don't let him beat you. His eyes were right there on point of contact. He knew it once he hit it. Bulldog fans knew it.
We never give up. Never give up. This fan base knows better. They know that I knew, they didn't have much to cheer for early in the game, but I knew if we got them in late in the game, it would make a difference, and they did.
And as you're going to learn through this course, bat speed is power. Backspin the ball through the back of the cage. If you're doing it right, it should look something like this. That.
He did, and that one is driven to right, and it is deep, and it is gone! Tanner Allen, a 3-run.
Okay, guys, I'm going to show you the correct swing, and we're going to walk through it slow motion, and I'm going to show you a normal motion example of it, right? So we're in our stance. We're relaxed, loose. Now, remember, our swing does not go up and dragging through the ball this way. It goes down to it, inside the ball, inside. See how my hands are inside this ball right here? That's inside. Now, drive my top hand through the ball just like that. You try to drive down to and through. Now, whenever you're working on the tee and training this, if you're doing it correct, it'll be a backspin line drive right through the back of the cage. Whenever you practice, you don't want to try to hit the top of the cage. You always want to hit line drives to the back of the cage. Now, remember, we talked about hands, right? My hands, when I swing this bat, cannot go out this way. Out. When they come out, I'm going to come across, and I'm going to beat it in the ground to the pull side, and I'm going to flare them to opposite field. No bueno. We always train inside the ball. Bang, that's inside. Down to and through, inside. Backspin the ball through the back of the cage. If you're doing it right, it should look something like this. Like that. See how that ball was inside? The swing was inside that ball to the left center gap. That is training my swing to be inside the ball. It should look like this. Just like that. So left-handers, you're going to try to hit a line drive over shortstop's head. Right-handers trying to hit a line drive over second baseman's head into the right center gap. Left-handers to the left center gap. That is going to train you to be inside the ball. That is the correct swing. Looks like this.
Welcome to episode 34 of the Legends on Deck podcast. I'm Brian Koss, along with co-host David Conde. And today's guest is a college baseball legend, one of the stars of the 2021 College World Series with the Mississippi State Bulldogs, their national championship team, Tanner Allen. In 2021, he was a consensus All-American, named SEC Player of the Year, American Baseball Coaches Association Player of the Year, basically all the awards. Tanner was selected by the Miami Marlins after that season and the Major League Baseball draft, and is currently playing with the Jupiter Hammerheads down here in the Florida State League. Tanner, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Hey, I appreciate you guys letting me come on board, man. We're going to have fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you being here. So
Sure.
We'd like to get started the same way we kind of start every show. Kind of give us an idea, where did you grow up? When did you start playing baseball? Who introduced you to the game? Tell us a little bit about your youth and then into your high school level.
Yeah, man. So I grew up in Theodore, Alabama. For anyone that doesn't know where that's at, it's just south of Mobile. Ironically enough, the first thing I started doing sports-wise was golf. and I picked up a golf club and started swinging it, and immediately I was left-handed. And then I'll never forget, as a child coming up through elementary school, I'd always come home and do my homework and watch the Braves play. And Chipper Jones was my guy, man. And I love watching Chipper Jones. And the older I got, the more I thought, man, I'd love to do that one day. And that's kind of how my baseball career got kickstarted right there, was watching the Braves every single day.
You're younger than I am, but that was TBS. Was that still TBS when you were a kid?
P3, TBS.
Okay. Yep. Because when I was younger, it was Braves on TBS, nationally syndicated. So growing up in Detroit, I got to watch the Tigers, the Braves, and the Cubs, because the Braves and the Cubs were national.
Yeah.
So did your dad or family members play the game? Did anyone kind of coach you that way?
Ironically, my dad played college basketball. My mom was a college cheerleader. Nobody really played baseball. Like I said, I kind of just picked it up on my own, and I loved it so much, man. I would always used to be in the yard next to my house when I was growing up, and I would hit rocks with a broomstick, and I could impersonate and copy every single player's batting stance in the Braves lineup, and I would do that over there. And there was a little black fence to kind of separate the I guess the lots in between, my house and the open lot next door. And I would always, picture hitting a home run over that black fence with a rock. So that's kind of where it started, man. And then my dad noticed that I started to get really, really good at it. And then I went to Park League, and I was dominating Park League. Like I was a Park League legend, just like every guy that's at this level right now. They're the high school legend, the Park League legend. I mean, and that from then on, man, it's just been baseball.
Well, if you were hitting with a broomstick and a rock, your hand-eye coordination must be amazing, because if you can hit that over a fence and hit it consistently, then you're meant for the game.
Oh, no doubt, man. That's funny. I could hit BBs with a broomstick. I used to hit paintballs, all kind, anything. If it was round and I could hit it, I hit it, man. I used to swing at everything. Like I said, golf balls, paintballs, BBs, rocks, anything.
So when you started playing baseball at high school level, did you go in with a favorite position? Was there something that you really were kind of focused on, or was it just any position you could kind of grab?
Well, for me, I actually had the opportunity to play on the varsity as an 8th grader. And man, since I've been young, I played shortstop, second base, in the infield, and the outfield too. I can play all over the field, and I think that is very highly valued nowadays. So I'm glad I did it. But in high school, I was mainly, as an 8th grader, I played third base, and then the older I got moved to shortstop, and then center field, and shortstop, center field, back and forth. Just depending on what helped our team win or consistently win. You know what I mean? One year, I think we had a really good young hitter. We couldn't get in the lineup because I was playing shortstop, so we let him play shortstop and me play center field, so we can have both our bats in the lineup. So it was good times, man. Just like that, just always being. Let's put it like this: my bat kept me in the lineup, and I kind of learned to play all the positions.
Well, that's awesome. Eighth grader to be on the varsity team. And then you were starting as well?
Yes, sir. I played every single game in my career in high school, and then almost in Mississippi State.
Awesome.
So if you you grew up in just in the Mobile, Alabama area, and you mentioned, I'm still stuck on this. You picked up a golf club first, so baseball, and that your dad played basketball and all that. So you weren't groomed in that baseball setting. It was you. It's a lot different than a lot of other people that we talk to. Whereas, like, oh yeah, I played baseball from 4 years old, and I was given the bat, and out here I was swinging. So yours is very driven by you,
Exactly.
which is amazing in its own way, that you gravitated that way. Can you take us a little bit through the process of getting recruited at the college level, from where you were in high school, You ended up going to Mississippi State, which is a big name in the college baseball world. But you're from Alabama. So I got to imagine you had other big schools in the area looking at you.
Yeah, man, I had a lot. To be honest with you, it happened kind of fast. I remember when I was a sophomore, actually when I was a freshman in high school, my first ever college offer was South Alabama right there in Mobile. And because they got to watch me all the time. That's kind of before I blew up. And then I was so close to going to South Alabama. And believe me, Coach Calvi over there is unbelievable. Would love to play for him. Talk to him all the time. Great coach, great place to play baseball. But my mom did not let me commit to South Al. And man, maybe a month later, I went to East Coast Pro workout. And like I said, one workout. And the next day, I think everybody in the SEC called me. And that was really neat. And the coolest part to me, looking back on it now, is, you see these kids playing travel ball every single weekend, nonstop, spending all this money, just going absolutely crazy with this travel ball thing, trying to play in front of people. And all it took me was just play right, play hard in front of the right person at the right time in one tournament, or not even a tournament, a workout. So that's the coolest part to me. But so I committed to LSU. Probably after a month of trying to decide, and it was between LSU, Auburn, Mississippi State, and South Alabama. And at the time, the guy at LSU told me, "You're going to play from day one when you get here, Coach Canizero." And I was like, "Well, that's where I'm going." And then my senior year, I believe it was like the signing day, the day before signing day, maybe. I got a phone call saying that Coach Canizero got the head coach job at Mississippi State, and he wanted me to come with him. And talked to my dad for about 5-10 minutes. And we're like, "Look, this guy wants you to play for him bad." And that's where I wanted to go, is where I was wanted the most. So I decommitted from LSU and went to Mississippi State.
Got it. So you followed the coach.
100%.
Very cool. I hear that a lot from guys in the that are getting recruited from college. It's like the coach and the personality and the coach, and that hooks them in and makes them commit. Usually there's something about that coach. It's not the school as much as it is the guy that you connect with at the school.
Right. For me, at the end of the day, he's writing a lineup card out. Right.
Right.
And if he wants me as bad as he said, and for any young guy listening to this who's going through the recruiting process, a coach can tell you everything under the sun. Promise he's going to play you from day one. Take care of this, take care of that. You're going to be here. You're going to be our guy. At the end of the day, his scholarship offer will reflect how bad he wants you. For instance, he can blow smoke up your rear end all day long about how good you are and how bad he wants you, but then he gives you a 20% scholarship. No, he don't want you. You know what I mean? So, but if the guy does the same thing, tells you how bad he wants you, and you're going to play from day one, and then he backs it up with 80% scholarship, yeah, he wants you, right? Because, like I said, in baseball, we don't get unlimited scholarships. So if he's using that much scholarship money on you, he wants you bad. And that was the kick for me.
No, absolutely. That's a good point too about, the baseball recruiting process is different than the football and basketball, where the big money is, and they could throw big.
I think Brian froze there for a second.
They have to. Oh, do you hear me?
Yeah, you froze there for a second.
Okay.
You probably have a storm outside your window.
I might. Yeah, there's some weather rolling in. So yeah, that the limited amount of scholarships I was talking about that college baseball teams get versus the counterparts in football and basketball. So they got to be creative. So that makes a lot of sense that they have to move. They're willing to move around the scholarship to lock you in. You're going
to play, or you're going to get every opportunity to play.
Yeah.
There was something interesting. Did he freeze again?
Am I okay? I'm just waiting on you.
Your face freezes up, and I don't know if you're just smiling there.
Yeah. No, we're good.
There was something interesting that Brian shared with me. It was a tweet you put out, and I'm going to share what you said. I'm going to try to say it without missing they're messing it up. But it's a very interesting tweet because I think him and I talk about this all the time. You said, parents, let your 10-year-old be a kid. You're going to spend all your money on travel ball just for Johnny to be burnt out and not want to play high school ball. I promise there are 0 scouts at a 10-year-old travel tourney. I've been down this road and see it happen. That's a great, when he shared that with me, me and Brian, I coach Little League. I coach rec ball. And I've never put my kid on travel ball. You know,
Don't.
I shut them down in Florida. We can play August to June. I shut them down in June, and in the summertime we go have family time. And I have a couple of friends that play pro ball, and they always tell me, David, shut them down, pick up the ball in August. I bet you the arms will be better than they were if you have them playing 1,000 games in the summer. And I'm gonna tell you, my kids have never had issues with their arms. So, kind of, what provoked that tweet for you to put that? Like, what made you write that?
Well, for me, I feel like I've had a lot of success, and I've been down on this road. A lot of kids in America are going down right now, wanting to find somewhere to play college baseball, right? And the one mistake that I think is that they make a lot is they play way too much, especially at a young age. Like you just said, if a kid's playing, I haven't been in travel ball lately. I don't know how many games a summer, but if you're playing more than, 3 or 4 tournaments, you're going to burn your kid out. And that might be too much. I don't know. But I do know this. For me, when I was coming up, I had a lot of friends of mine that played a lot of travel baseball. I'm talking a lot, like spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on it. And they didn't go anywhere. They barely even played on the high school team. They barely even had a drive to play baseball. You know what I mean? Because it was harped on them so much that they got to do this, 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 and this. They're never going to play college baseball. That's not true. For me, I love playing football too, right? So whenever baseball season was over, and I guess when I was coming up 12 or 13, baseball season was over. I played travel ball. I mean, not travel ball. I played park ball, the Park League All-Stars, 2 tournaments, and we were done. We were done in June. I was picking up football, getting ready for football season, right? And I feel like we can open up a whole nother can of worms on football and how it will be a football player. But but let's put it like this. My son one day will not be tied up in all this travel ball mess. Will not be. Save your money, enjoy your time with your kid, and train to get better. You can get better without playing every single weekend.
Yeah.
And you can also balance it enough to where your kid wants to get better, has fun playing baseball, but also enjoys his childhood, right? When I was a kid, I wanted to go to the beach, go fishing, go hunting, do all kind of stuff. I had other things I wanted to do. It's like this. If your son tells you he's 10 years old, I don't want to play this weekend, don't play. Don't play. A lot of these parents live through their child on a travel ball team that is 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to try to flip side it a little bit just to try to hone in on the question. But I think you're on to something for sure. But I think the key is that some of this stuff is maybe more parent driven
100%.
than kid driven. You kind of have to listen to your kid and decide and see what they're looking to do. If they're not, there's plenty of kids out there that are just kind of having a good time playing Little League and aren't like super into it, but they like it, they enjoy it, and they kind of can put it aside. But there's another level of kid out there too that's like that's what they want to do all the time. So I don't know if it's if it's a parent driven thing. I think it's certainly a negative. But if it's is there a kid driven element to it as well, or do you see a difference there?
I think a lot of it is parent for sure, because when you see a parent in the parking lot chewing his 10-year-old kid out for not having a good game, that's not okay. You know what I mean? That's not okay. And for one, that's not going to make your relationship with your son healthy for sure, right? For two,
Sure.
All you're doing right now is training him not to want to go play baseball, because every time he goes and plays, if he does bad or doesn't have a good game, he's going to have to put up with your crap. You know what I mean? So
Well, I think that's where the burnout comes. The burnout,
that's 100% where the burnout comes from.
It's probably more of a mental burnout for the kid as it is a physical burnout, because they're under that kind of pressure
Nonstop
from someone else. And it may not be them, pushing it. It may be the parent, and then they're just like, you know what, forget it. I'm done. I'm 13 and I'm done with this already.
I'm done with baseball. And then the dad, and then your mom and dad look around and they got all this money tied up in your baseball career, and you don't even want to play anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of doing it the right way, which is if Johnny wants to go play with his buddies on the weekend, let him go play. Go have fun. I'm not saying don't play, but as soon as you realize that it's causing a burden between father and son, because they start arguing or they get, they start disagreeing on stuff, and it starts to build an unhealthy relationship. Yeah, that might be a red flag, right?
Mhm.
As a 10-year-old.
Sure.
That might be, or you notice that he's slowly losing love for the game and not wanting to play because it gets in the way. Then stop. It's that simple.
Right.
It's that simple. Save your money and go to the beach and have fun. Or, like I said, for me, it was hunting and fishing. But
Right.
I know a lot of other people like different hobbies. Go do them. Enjoy your childhood. Because when you turn 14 or 15, that is when it starts to get serious. That's when you make your decision. Do I want to play college baseball? Do I want to have the opportunity to get drafted?
Well, to add to that, so if you look at some of these things that, if you go out there and look at some of these recruiting groups out there and these ranking systems, they're ranking kids from like the time they're like 13 years old.
That's a
12 years old in some cases I've seen. So my question is, at what level? So we're talking, there's a gap. We're only talking about 4 years between being 10 years old and being 14 years old and a freshman in high school. I don't know. I mean, I think I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I also wonder if there's that, there's that gap, and how do you get to that level from the time you're 10 till the time you're 14?
Right. The parents need to understand this right here. This literally this simple. They cannot want it for their child.
Yeah.
They cannot want it. This is how you know if your child's got it in them that they want to play college baseball. They start getting upset that you won't go flip balls to them in the backyard, right?
Yeah.
They start coming to you asking you to help them with their game. Not you coming to them saying, we're going to play this weekend, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of parents out there that their son is the exact opposite. The parents have to push them nonstop to play. And that right there is just going to push them away from this game. And there's nothing, that's okay. I mean, believe me, if the whole world was full of baseball players, we wouldn't have anybody to go see the doctor when you get sick, right? There's other things to do, but it's not worth ruining a relationship or causing turmoil in a relationship between a father and a son. Now, did my dad get on my rear end? Of course, all the time, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that he did a good job of is whenever I had a bad game, if I played hard, it was, hey, you get him tomorrow, right? If you're hustling, you're getting after it, and you're doing what you're supposed to prepare for the game, you ain't going to hear a word out of me. Now, if I was showing motion on the field, being lazy, he's probably going to break his foot off in my rear end, right? Which is how it should be.
Right.
So there's a fine line between, I feel like there's a fine line between encouraging your kid and then raising them the right way as well. Baseball's a great way to do that because, I mean, if you're lazy in life, you're not going to get anywhere. You want somebody to break their foot off in your rear end too, right?
Right.
Same thing with baseball.
I'm on the flip side with the travel. I've been doing rec ball since my oldest was 9. And I've seen the travel stuff, the back and forth. But there was a comment made, and I told Brian the other day we had a game. Someone made a comment to my son. He says, why are you playing this baseball when you can come to travel ball and play real baseball? And I didn't like that comment. And I just pulled my son to the side. I said, are you having fun playing rec ball? My son's a pretty decent ball player. 12 years old, big catcher. He can hit. He says, yeah, I'm having fun. He goes, Dad, I don't want to travel. I never said I wanted to travel. But it was just that comment that person made to any kid. If you tell them that, they're going to think, oh, am I not going to be good enough to go anywhere if I'm just playing rec ball? No, because the talent, listen, you may have some kids that are a little bit better in travel. You may have some kids that are not as good. They're just paying maybe the money to be on the team. And I'm not knocking travel because I know we've had people come on here about it. But my thought process being a coach is I'm getting these kids prepared for high school. And like you said, you play multiple positions. That's a great thing to try to help the kids love the game that way. But I don't think spending that much money or playing 5, 6, 7 games in a weekend is, like you said, is going to get the kid any further along if he played one game in a week and practiced the other time to get better.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Here's the deal, too. You got to remember this. I'm not saying, like, let's put it like this. If you're 14 and 15 and you want to play college baseball, you need to be playing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Let's just be real, because there's no way. If you're good, they'll find you, right?
Yeah.
But the more times that you play in the summer, the more opportunity you're going to have to get seen. Yeah. I'm talking mainly to the crowd of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the fun age of baseball.
Yeah.
The fun age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once they get past that, it is 100% up to the player if he wants to get better or not. It's up to them. It's that simple. It is literally that simple. But as far as me, like I said, hey, my son's going to play. I don't even know if they have church league ball anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just that simple. I'm not going to spend all this money, crazy money, to get on a travel ball team who's coached by Johnny's daddy over here, who lets Johnny hit first and play shortstop, right? I've been down this road, guys. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's funny because I think there is a travel ball team here in Florida. I don't know who the organization is, but I think it starts at 8 years old. And it goes up 10, and they're doing all this travel ball, and it's like, and parents always ask me, "You want to do a travel ball team?" Nah, June 1st was summer hot. Like, I don't know how you guys in Florida State League play in this heat, because I cannot sit in the sun that long, even be in the field. And I did All-Stars last year with my son. It was like 95 degrees. I'm on third base coaching. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank God we were in and out. Like, I don't know how you guys do it, but imagine, summertime it's for family time, especially in Florida. We have enough sun all year long.
100%. 100%.
Well, I got to say, this piece of the conversation alone could probably go on for hours. I'm going to switch gears a little bit to talk about college baseball.
Right.
And I want to hear about your experience at Mississippi State. I'll tell you what, it's funny because if you go back in the Legends on Deck, and I'll send these to you, I wrote a couple Mississippi State baseball articles during that time frame. Because I came across the documentary on Palmeiro and Clark and the whole Mississippi State program, the whole kind of allure of Dudy Noble Stadium and all that. Tell us a little bit about that experience playing college baseball at Mississippi State, what it's like, what that season was like for you, and just the whole atmosphere down there.
Yeah, man. Mississippi State University for 4 years was probably the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. Not even close. Best place to play baseball in America, hands down. Every week, 10,000 plus people, sometimes 15,000 plus people.
I saw they just broke a record.
Yeah, that does not surprise. There's probably more people there than they had reported. It's something I hold true to my heart, man. It's a place I always go back in all season, and I miss it like crazy. Miss it so dearly, man. Because for me, when you get to pro ball, it's all about development. It's not about winning. When I was at Mississippi State, everything was about winning.
Yeah.
Everything you did was to make sure we could win, work out, practice, all that stuff, eat right. I mean, just everything you think of, every little aspect was about how to win. And I love that aspect about it. Now, like I said, it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. It's real laid back. For me, I watched the Andy Griffith Show a lot when I was younger, so it's just like Mayberry. And I can remember, going into Starkville Cafe on a Saturday morning before a Saturday night game, and the mailman driving by in his truck, delivering the mail and screaming, "Let's get him tonight, TA." Just countless, things and circumstances that happened, man, that were just unbelievable. It's a great place to play baseball. And all the hard work that I did when I was younger, it all paid off for that one, that one span of year, 4 years right there.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and then it's hard to imagine, when I realized that during that season that they'd been the first championship Mississippi State had won. I believe in all athletics. Is that correct?
That's correct, in everything.
D1 athletics, Mississippi State's first national championship. But for baseball, I was surprised because they're a perennial contender. But the other thing, it's like if you go you look at Mississippi State, Ole Miss won last year. Your arch rival. And then Mississippi looks like Southern Miss is having a good season this year. So, what is it with college baseball in the state of Mississippi? It seems like it's a whole different animal.
Yeah, because it's so dearly loved.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got the Mississippi Braves.
Yep.
That's about it. But other than that, it's all college athletics, and that's why at Ole Miss, outstanding attendance at every game. Right. Really good. I'm not going to give them too much credit, but Coach Bianco and that team over there, man, they got it going on. I know they're struggling this year, but hey, everybody has a down year, especially after national champions and after being national champions. But the year's not over for them either. But man, it's just a different standard in Mississippi. I don't know why. If you go to Starkville, Mississippi on a Saturday, in town, there will be nobody, any stores, any restaurants. Everybody will be at the baseball game. You know, it's a real small town Friday night football game. That's how it is with baseball. I tell people all the time, Mississippi State baseball is just like Alabama with football.
I was going to say that. You grew up in Alabama, so you got the football, the Alabama-Auburn rivalry there. And then in Mississippi, you got the Ole Miss Mississippi State rivalry for baseball.
Yeah.
So that's
pretty much of a rivalry anymore.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the next 10 years in a row just for saying that, huh?
Yeah.
So when you say 15,000 fans at a college baseball game, have you seen 15,000 fans at a minor league baseball game?
No.
That to me is amazing. That to me is like, I've seen the college football, like, I don't know how many fans could be in a college football. I'm from New York, so we didn't have that whole college baseball. We did have St. John's University, but we didn't have what you guys have, Mississippi, Alabama. But I would love to be at a college baseball game with that many fans, because I mean it's loud. I'm assuming it's like a party. It's like a World Baseball Classic game in Miami, but on the college level.
That's exactly what it's like. There's nothing like it, man. Nothing like it. It'll either fold you as a player, or it'll make you play 5 times better than you thought you could ever play.
These Florida State League games, you're probably like, okay, where are the fans? When the fans showing up? I'm waiting for the left field lounge to fill up over here.
That's right.
Well, these were with the Florida State League games, because I've been here since 2006, and I can literally get a seat in the front row and watch good baseball. I mean, even now, even though I was saying this the other day, I was watching the Muscles and the opening night. I forgot who they were playing. But it was like really good baseball. When it went from the high A ball to low A ball, some fans thought, oh, wow, it's not going to be the same level of baseball. It's been amazing baseball. The talent level is like up there.
Really good players around, man. This whole league, I mean, there's really good players, and I've had fun this year. Last year was kind of a down year for me. I got hurt, and then when I played, I struggled. And it kind of made me look in the mirror and really decide if I really want to do this, because I was in a dark spot last year. I mean, for me saying that, I believe that can give any kid, confidence, knowing that, hey, if I'm struggling, I can get through this. I mean, look at him. I was on top of the world college baseball, best college baseball player in the year 2 years ago, in the world 2 years ago, right? And I just had one of the worst years of my career last year, but I'm still going. So being in this league, it's not just a little pushover league. Yeah. It's not. I mean, there's guys out there that throw 100 miles an hour on every day of the week. Really good players. And it's a really good competition. I enjoy it. Having fun this year. And I think that's why I started off pretty good. Going to keep it going. And hopefully not be here too much longer. No offense to you guys, but
we know how it works. Listen,
when the heat of the summer hits.
Yeah, we don't get attached to you guys. We know, hey, the next level is the next level. We see you for a season. If you're here the next season again, we're like, okay, maybe he's just kind of working through some things, but we expect you guys to keep going. We know. Right. It's open door, closed door. See you guys next year. That's all. See you guys at spring training.
Everybody's working on something, man. That's the name of this game. Always working on something.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the fun part, like David said, going to these games. Like I'm about 30, 40 minutes from Lakeland. So, just going out, you go sit next to the dugout and you see everything up close.
Yeah.
So you can watch the guys that if you like David and I, and you follow, baseball players that closely, and the prospects and the draft picks and everything. You get to see everybody that you know up close and personal before they climb the ranks.
That's right.
So it's fun from a fan side if you're guys like David and I that are really into it, and kids too. I think it's great for kids. Yeah.
Yep.
So the whole drafting by the Marlins, were there any other teams that were interested in you? Anybody calling you on draft day to say, hey, you know, do you want to go with us?
Yeah, I had a couple of guys or a couple of teams reach out, mainly, but ironically enough, I was actually fishing in the bay right behind my house, Dolphin Island, and my agent called me and was like, "Hey, look, the Marlins are going to take you in the 4th round or the next pick." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." So that right there was a pretty cool moment. I was actually out there fishing with my 2 best friends I've had since I was in 6th grade, and done everything together. We were out there fishing, and I had to be able to share that moment with them was pretty special too.
So did you actually catch a fish at the moment that
Oh yeah, we were at the mountain. Where am I? Said, hold on, the phone's calling. My agent's calling me. This might be good news. Let me answer.
My luck is in. Yeah, the fish came rolling in after that, right?
Yeah.
So the transition from college to minor league baseball, I mean, obviously, like we said, you know, going from all these fans and everything, and then you kind of go to minor league baseball. But how has the transition be with the level of play, and also just the getting used to the whole minor league system? Because I'm sure you've heard about it when you're in college. How, you know, the bus rides and the hotels. I mean, what was the differences, and how have you been able to adapt to that?
Yeah, some of the biggest differences are clearly you're swinging with a wood bat, so it takes a while to get used to, and then you're playing every single day. You know what I mean? You got to, like tomorrow we play a 6:00, 6:30 game. We got to be in the field at noon. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. Got to do right. But it's been a transition for me, man. It's what I've learned is, you know, from last year, my first year, is I can only control what I can control. It's such a business part. There's such a business. You know what I mean? It's literally, if you spend all day trying to figure out what they're thinking about you and how they're going to do what they're going to do with you, you're never going to get anywhere. All you got to do is focus on, you know, get to the field, get your work done, have fun doing it. Because when you're having fun is when you're going to be at your best. And then go play and play hard, do your best. If you don't do good, so what? You're playing the next day. If you do good, so what? You're playing the next day. Right? Always stay level-headed and be nice to everybody, man. And when you really try to enjoy it, because let's be real, man, I'm away from home, on the road all the time, not getting paid anything. Yeah, it's a hard lifestyle, but when you try your best to have fun with it and enjoy the guys around you, it makes it a lot better. And that's one thing that I've learned from this year or from last year.
So Jupiter takes care of you over there? I mean, do they at least like put you guys up or feed you
Oh,
guys?
yeah. Oh, yeah. They got us in apartments, so that's a lot nicer than it was last year in hotels. Hotels was brutal.
And that's a nice area, Jupiter. We actually covered I think the 2019 All-Star game.
Yeah.
My buddy's Andrew Seymour. He actually the GM of the Cardinal side. And we actually got to visit the area. That's a nice area over there. Nice little kind of town, small town feel in a sense.
Oh, yeah, it's a really nice area. I love Jupiter. I love Jupiter, man. It's an awesome area. I fish a lot, so I kind of bounce around pond to pond around the area. They got some big bass in some of these ponds, stuff like that. Really nice places to eat. And weather's always really good. I know it's about to get to the dog days of June and July. It's going to get real hot, but as of right now, the weather is outstanding.
And have you fished at Juno Beach?
I have not done that yet. I had a guy today tell me about it.
My son's a fish. He's 12 years old. It's like you. All he wants to do is fish. He plays baseball when he's playing. He doesn't like to practice, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But he does everything fishing, and he found it on YouTube. He goes, "Can we go here, Dad?" So I'm like, "Hey, we'll go to Juno Beach, and I'll catch a Cardinals game at the end of the night." There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Perfect. So I wanted to ask you a question regarding your timing of graduating or coming out of Mississippi State and the announcement of the NCAA that was for the first time allowing your name and likeness, image and likeness to be used. And I think you're one of the first guys, college athletes, to kind of jump on board with some of that and actually use your name and your current status to bring some attention and take some endorsements and things like that.
Yeah, man. So I was right on the tail end of it, or I guess before it exploded, really exploded.
Right. It was right at the
And
beginning.
clearly, I graduated after, so I mean, I got very little of it. But for me, it was really cool. You know, I think as much money as us players are bringing the NCAA, they should at least give us the opportunity to make some money off of it. I do agree. Now, do I think it can get out of hand? 100%. Because it's funny because we were actually talking about this the other day in the locker room with the guys. You know, NIL is awesome. I missed it by a year. I'd have really enjoyed it the year after. Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
But it was good to me. Let's just put it like that. It was good to me to, you know, the very little time that I was a part of it. But what it's doing now is kind of making the game of college baseball really interesting. But it's growing the game too, because a lot more guys are getting a lot more exposure, which is awesome.
I think, you know, it might help the decision-making process go for kids looking to play college baseball. You know, they might look at it and say, hey, well, you know, I can try to get drafted and get in the minor league process and get that going. Or, you know, I could go play D1 college baseball and get some endorsements just the same. Probably better off doing that.
Way better off doing that. You know, in the past, Vanderbilt's always had the leg up on the recruiting side because they're able to give 100% scholarships because they're a private university, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of leveled the playing field with them because now we can also use NIL for a scholarship. You know, I'm not saying out of the scholarship money. I'm just saying, okay, we can give you 50% scholarship money, but also, hey, Johnny over here's got an NIL deal for you that also will cover the other half, right?
Sure.
So that's how that works. I think that's a good idea because let's be real here. If you're a player and you're coming out of high school and you see Vanderbilt give you 100% full ride, pay for everything, be on the best team, one of the best programs in the country, why wouldn't you go there? That's kind of a recruiting disadvantage.
No doubt.
But now what they have done is if you're a freshman, now this is what I would do if I was a freshman and I had a really good year. So let's say out of high school, I go to LSU or wherever. I go to Auburn.
Yep.
I play at Auburn my freshman year. I have an unbelievable season at Auburn, right? I enter my name into the transfer portal. Here comes the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's about to happen, and it's happening as we see.
Yep. I could totally see that. You know, in general, like I think you're right. I think I'm saying if it's a college athlete, I mean, you guys, if you're playing at that level, whether it's college pro ball, D1 college ball especially, I mean, you're there because of the talent that you guys have to play. And, you know, the school, you get money from the schools and whatever, but like you said, for baseball especially, you're not getting most places other than maybe a select few were able to give full ride scholarships.
Right.
So, you know, kids aren't supposed to be able to make any money while they're there or do that. I mean, you got to take advantage of your talent, in my 100%. Opinion, during that window of time that you have to do that. So it's just interesting because I remember your name coming up on that thing side. So I looked it up. I'm like, yeah, I know he did something in that regard. But it's really cool to be able to connect those dots and see what it looked like at the beginning.
Yeah, it's my agent kind of handled everything with that.
Okay.
Once I got out of Mississippi State, so it was a really good idea by him.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you launched the website, kind of off track a little bit away from college and minor league baseball, more of a training site for Tanner Allen Baseball, where your online hitting instruction, right? So you're online doing it, okay? So are you putting out videos? Like, tell us about the program. How does that work?
So in the off season, I worked with hundreds of kids doing lessons, right? And I would kind of, they would take a picture with me and they'd put it on Instagram and tag me in it, and I just repost it. So a lot more people kind of got my name out there a little bit. It kind of blew up on me, right? I didn't have enough room.
Yeah.
And my uncle, actually, ironically enough, was like, man, we should create an online course so you can reach more folks. And that's what we did. But the course is 21 or 22 videos, I believe. It's like an hour and a half worth of content. Talking about everything under the moon with hitting a baseball. Everything you can think of. And I think it's just my way of giving back, because when I was a younger kid, I had exposure to really, really good coaching. And that kind of changed my career early, because the earlier you get it, the better you're going to be. And this is my way of giving any kid in America, hey, to be able to say that guy right there went down the road that I want to go down, had a lot of success doing it. He basically conquered college baseball. And now he is going to tell me exactly how he did it and give me the steps what I need to do it. Yeah, that's my goal, because I want to help, and any kid come down the road. If a young guy was able to make it and have a really successful career, and he was able just to say or give me any kind of credit of just a grain of sand of credit, saying he helped me get to where I'm at, that would mean the world to me. Just being able to know that I helped somebody on, the up and coming, the next generation of baseball players have some success, that would mean the world to me.
Awesome.
I think what's cool about it is the uniqueness of the online start. So you're saying you did in-person hitting instruction throughout the off season, which makes sense. That's the way that most guys are doing it, right? You go to a facility and you do instruction. But the reach that you can have doing this online course, I think, is a whole different thing, because now some kid, no matter where if you're in their location or not, could log it into their smartphone or wherever, and they can listen to your videos and watch you and copy that.
No doubt. And another thing is, when I was getting hitting lessons when I was younger, my dad paid attention to him all the time, and pretty soon I didn't even need my hitting coach. My dad knew my swing better than I did, or he did. I mean, now don't get me wrong, I still talk to my hitting coach all the time nowadays. But the idea of, hey, a dad and his son can sit down and learn the swing, how it works, what to make it better, what to look for when you're going wrong, how to fix that, just little bitty tips. Like I can tell you right now, I've seen so many hitting coaches online, man, that a lot of them are good, but a lot of them are just not good. They're just not good. And I believe I have the platform and the resume to back that tells everybody I know what I'm talking about. And I promise you, I'm not going to lead you wrong. You know what I mean? And that's I feel like that's my duty to I mean, I will expose somebody on Twitter if they say it the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because I know that some kid will watch that video and think that's the way it needs to be done, knowing that it's the wrong way. That's not going to help. That's not going to bring you any success. All that guy wants is a view and a follower, right?
Yeah.
I'm here trying to help any kid that wants to get or wants to do good and have a successful career like I have.
So
yeah, I think it's great. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What's the process? Someone comes on the site, subscribes. What are they getting? I think you mentioned 20 videos.
Yeah, they're getting. I'll give you a few examples. So, like I said, I got 21 videos, an hour and a half worth of content, right? And it goes from beginner all the way to advanced. It's going to cover anything from what bat should I swing, how to hold the bat, what does my stance need to feel like, to how to hit curveballs, how to pay attention to pitcher frequencies, how to hit runners in scoring position, why am I popping up, why am I grinding out, why am I striking out? Everything you can think of. I got a book next to my desk up here that I'm going to add on to it. I'm telling you, I'm doing my best to help any kid that wants to, like I said, have an opportunity to play college baseball, get drafted like I did.
Well, I think that's awesome. I don't think, listen, guys go from college ball to Miami baseball, and I can tell, you have a long day, you're tired, you got a lot going on. I'm sure you're not doing the videos during the season, but you've prepared something for that. If a kid, listen, most times, I'm like I said, I'm a rec ball coach. Kids don't listen. Now, listen, I studied the game. I didn't play. I played high school ball. I didn't play college baseball, none of that stuff. I watched the game, but I'm not going to go and tell. So I always tell the kid, listen, if you want professional training, get the professional training. I work with the professional guy. Hey, to let him know what he's doing right or wrong, and I might pick up on some things, but I didn't play professional ball, so the kids don't look at me like you're just a good coach, but you don't know that aspect. But it's good to have tools that I can take and say, hey guys, watch this. Watch this. See what you can, mimic what's going on in the video, and then kind of let's work with it together on the field. So I think that's awesome.
No doubt, man. And I've had really, really good feedback on it. And Actually, I have a deal with USA Baseball going on too as well. I'm a partner with them, so I'm gonna be able to get it out to a whole lot more kids. So that'll happen later this summer. But it's kind of it's going good, man. It's going really good. All the people that reached back out to me have, clearly maybe a couple questions, but everything is really good. Some really good feedback. So that excites me. Um, it really does. And like I said, I've got another idea on the way to here shortly this offseason. Is I'm gonna start an entire course on. You'll have my Haiti course, and you're gonna have a course on how to get recruited and how the recruiting process works.
That's
Awesome.
That's perfect. Yeah, David and I, what we'll want to make sure we get all that information. So when we put this post out and all
No
that,
doubt.
we've got everything embedded in there. And that's how I came across some of your stuff. I saw some of your posts on I think I've been following you for a while on Twitter, but I saw your post with your videos, and I watched some of the previews of it. So I think it's very quality stuff, like you said, and it comes from somebody that's done it. So I think that.
Yeah, man.
It's alluring to the ball player out there to say, hey, this guy did it. These videos, you can do it at home. Good concept. So we hope you have a lot of success with that.
Man, I appreciate it.
Well, we could go on about travel ball and college baseball, and Brian's got Duty Noble Stadium on his bucket list, real
There
high
you go.
there. So I'm making it out there one of these days. Maybe next spring, we'll see. But we're gonna wrap it up here. Tanner's got a busy schedule. He's got how many games to play this week? 6 games this week?
6 games this week.
Yeah,
Three.
grinding out that minor league life. We wish you a lot of success here this season, and we like David and I were joking. We hope to not see you down here in Florida by mid-season.
That's right.
But if we do, we'll come up and say hi. How you doing?
Yeah, for sure. We'll be out there before too long. So hopefully we can catch you before you're going on to bigger and better things.
I appreciate it, guys.
David, you want to hit us with the sponsors a little bit?
Well, our sponsor for the podcast is Ease Up Mortgage, as well as DC3 Bat Company. They make custom gloves and bats and batting gloves. And also, as you can see on Brian's head there, that's one of our logos that's on a hat. And we have a merch shop that we're actually coming out with a different design. And it's going to be cool. And we're going to see how, everyone likes it. And so we'll share all that stuff on our podcast at the end of this. And all our pages, Instagram and YouTube, as well as Tanner's all his information and where he's at, where to find him, where to find his videos. You're going to see a lot of that on Legends on Deck, kind of really getting your stuff out there and really sharing what you're doing. So really appreciate you being here, taking the time to be with us and share your story. That's what Legends on Deck is always about, is giving that player the platform to share a story. Even if, you're well known from the college days, you're going to be well known in your minor league days before you're said and done, and hopefully in the major leagues as well. But Legends on Deck is always giving the platform to ball players that just want to be heard and want to be known. So we appreciate you giving us your time today.
Guys, I appreciate it. I had a blast.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanner. That was episode 34 with Tanner Allen. Thank you, guys. Good luck this week.
Thank you.